Hi guys, my name is Maria. Some of you guys might have watched my previous video. If you haven't, I made a video on how to apply to advanced parole by yourself using the help of Dreamers Together's Facebook group. So if you haven't, go watch that. And if you did, hopefully it helped you even a little bit hopefully it helped you a little bit when applying to advanced parole. So I am back because I finally did advanced parole myself. A lot of people were asking if I got approved, and yes, I got approved for 2 months. 2 months, 1 entry. I requested 1 year, multiple entries, and I didn't get it. A lot of people always ask, are you gonna get the days that you asked for? And honestly, it's up to the person, it's up to the officer working on your case. So we just don't know. I did only get 2 months, and because of my job I couldn't leave for the full 2 months, so I only left for 2 weeks. But either way, I was very thankful. And yeah, so I'm here to show you guys how smooth the process was. I did record a little bit coming back, so I just wanted to show you guys and just basically show you that it's actually pretty easy. It was super smooth. It didn't take long. It wasn't scary at all. So if you're interested, I did record a little bit of like a couple clips, so I'm gonna put them together and hopefully again it helps you guys. Okay, before I get started, I wanted to tell you guys really quick about my plane tickets and the little mistake I made. So my husband is from the East Coast and his whole family is on the other side. We have an Expedia account and we fly a lot to the other side of the country. So every time I buy my plane ticket, I buy it with my married name, because now I don't use my maiden name for anything. Nothing has my maiden name except my passport. So every time I fly to any other state, we check in online or we check at the kiosk. We check in at the kiosk, but usually it's online. We just go straight through TSI and we're in, you know. This time it was a little bit different because you're not able to check in online or at the kiosk. You have to go to the front desk and check in person. So a week before my flight, I realized that I had purchased my ticket with my married name and my passport had my maiden name. So I was freaking out because I was like, what if they don't let me fly, you know? So I was like, okay, like I called Aeromexico. That's the airline that I used to fly to Mexico. And I talked to 3 people and they all told me that it was okay because my married name is on my passport. So just make sure it matches on your passport. I had both last names on there, so they told me I was fine. Either way, the day of the flight, I arrived 2 hours before and I went straight to the desk and I told them what happened. I'm like, this is my new name now. This is my Mexican passport. And the lady was super nice. She's like, oh, don't worry about it. Everything's there. So I did take 3 flights within Mexico. So I went to different states within Mexico and everybody was fine with it except one person. She didn't want to let me like go through because she was saying that my name had to match exactly on my passport. I went back to the front desk and they told me that they didn't know what she was talking about. So I went back and forth with this person until I showed her my work permit, because that one has my married name. So basically I didn't show her my passport. I would say to avoid all of this, just buy the ticket with exactly the name on the passport. Coming back, I was a little bit scared because I'm like, this is the more important flight coming back into the US. So what if they don't let me in? I had no issues. The girl saw my name on the passport, so she didn't tell me anything about it. So sorry I'm doing a bunch of clips, but I realized that I forgot to tell you guys, because I was so scared that my plane ticket, they weren't gonna let me fly. I made sure I took copies and my original birth certificate, my marriage certificate, my work permit, and my passport. So I took those 4 things just in case they were gonna ask me for something. I didn't want them to have an excuse, so I took originals and copies of it. Again, if you guys have any questions, make sure you look through the search bar on the group, because most questions are already answered. Just read a lot. Coming back, I was not scared. I think my husband was more scared of me. He was like, what if they don't let you back in? And like, I feel very confident because of how much I read on the group. So again, I always recommend reading a lot, and then if you can't find your answer, then you can go ahead and ask it. But again, just read a lot. And now I'm gonna show you guys the little clips coming back, and hopefully it helps you guys and hopefully it motivates you guys, and you know, So yeah, I'll show you.
We gotta go to You got everything this for the tenants.
Clean the office, clean the on clean. They're getting us up to transport check 20 times. There's someone that's really good. Yeah.
There's the bus.
Let me go first. I'm trying to record.
You need to get global entry.
Soon, Jonathan, soon. Actually, I know I can go with you guys, but I'm gonna go through here. Because it's empty. No, there's a line over there. I'm gonna go without you guys. Bye. Okay, so I just realized you can't really hear much. I walk up to the person, which is the first inspection. It was a lady, and she was in the friendliest, and I feel like that made me a little bit nervous. I gave her my paper, and I don't know if you guys can hear, but basically I tried to explain advanced pro. She's like, oh, DACA, and I'm like, oh yeah, DACA. So she knew about DACA, and then she told me to go there. She was gonna take a picture. That's when I was like, should I remove my glasses? She said yeah, and then she asked for my fingerprints, both hands, both thumbs, obviously. And then she asked me if I had gone to school in the US, and I don't know why I thought about it, and I was like then it hit me, and I was like, yes, I graduated high school here. And then from there, she was like, okay, you're gonna go to second inspection, which is the cuartito. And then she was gonna walk me, and then another immigration officer came. So she was like, can you take her? And basically that's what happened in this little clip. I tried to record again, but I was a little nervous. So if you guys want to hear, if not, just skip this part. So, and this is it's a advanced parole, DACA, yes. Should I take out my glasses? Yes.
What do you do for work? HP the printer? Okay, yeah. Enterprise, okay. How long are you going to be here for? Hold on. How many days? 4 days. You have return ticket to show me when you go back home? Yes. Can I see? Can you show me when you go home? Let me see.
Yes. I graduated high school here. Sorry.
Back home? Yes, give me the one that you're going to stay at tonight. Right now?
Okay.
How much money you travel cash? US dollars?
And this is what happened at the famous cuartito. The immigration officer took me in there. It honestly looked like, I want to say it looked like the DMV. There was chairs. It was a waiting room. It wasn't that big. It wasn't that small. It had little windows, kind of like the DMV. I sat there for maybe 10 minutes. I don't want to say it was 15 because it was less than 15 minutes. The lady called me and she had my passport. I gave her my advance parole document, my letter. She took it, she was looking at it, and I guess because they wanted to compare my maiden name on the paper they wanted to match it to my passport, but my passport has my maiden name. She asked me, she's like, do you have anything that has your maiden name? So I was like, yeah, I have my marriage certificate. Like I said, I took all of that. And she was like, okay, this works. And she was talking to a coworker. She wasn't really looking at me or asking me anything. She did ask me how long was I gone for. I told her 2 weeks. She's like, okay. She stamped, she signed, she gave it to me. She gave it to me to take pictures. I don't know, I've never heard of this, but she told me, she was like, I need to take this, but you can take pictures if you want. So I did take 2 pictures of it, and then I gave it back, and she's like, okay, you're good to go. And that was it.
I was hoping they're gonna keep you.
Oh my god.
Shit. Take her back.